I've covered Lord of the Rings Online somewhat extensively over the last few months, and I can honestly say that the game and the content I put out has not had such a significant response as it has done in the last probably 3 to 4 days. The most recent video I put out about the new server update, both Angmar and Mordor, has had so much amazing feedback, not just from a social aspect, but also from the new people entering and trying LOTRO or returning to LOTRO for the first time ever, or the first time in a couple of years. With the introduction of the new 64-bit servers, Standing Stone Games has managed to pretty much do the unthinkable. They've managed to port people back into the game that either gave it a chance and just wrote it off as something that was, too laggy, too outdated, and just horrible to play, and even bring people back that have played it and switched off for it for a length of time and moved on to something else and managed to make them come full circle, which is just incredible. I've spent quite a few hours myself playing on the Mordor server as an elf hunter, which I've addressed in a few other videos, and I wanted to put a decent amount of time into the server before I cast any further opinion, because the biggest topic that's on everyone's mind right now is the lag really fixed? Is it still apparent? Is it just a temporary fix? And honestly, I can truly say, for the time that I've spent playing on the new legendary servers, I have experienced absolutely nothing other than like maybe the tiniest little micro stutter when the servers were at really high capacity. But all in all, it's holding up incredibly well. In fact, I would go as far as to say that the game almost feels brand new, not by a graphical standpoint, but the engine. It just feels a million times better to play than the standard servers. Now, of course, one of the biggest, forward steps of these servers is mainly the introduction of the EU server Mordor, which is going to benefit me here in the UK. In terms of the capability to trim the lag back and the, the lag spikes and the stutters as much as possible, that has done wonders. Rather than all the servers be based in the US, having one of them ported over in the EU is fantastic. And truly, if you are in the EU, in the UK, and you have wrote LOTRO off beforehand as something that you just can't play, can't fathom, do give it another try, because honestly, the Mordor server, it's had a few technical hitches here and there. It's been down a couple of times for maintenance and whatnot, but they seem to have ironed most things out now, and it is running so well. In fact, it's running so well that I've quite often seen in excess of 1,000 people logged into the Mordor server. I'm pretty sure one of the highest peaks I ever saw at was over 1,300 active players, which is just insane for a game that had pretty much, found itself as a small corner of the internet to be where it is now is just astounding. The amount of comments that I've actually received on some of my previous videos saying that, oh, I'm going to restart playing Lord of the Rings Online, or I didn't realize that the servers had been updated, I want to try this again, or one of the major things that held me back was the lag. If this is fixed, then I really want to come back. And that just blew my mind. I'm a really small content creator in comparison to the other people in this space, and to see your guys' opinion really means a lot. And speaking of, small fish in a big pond, Standing Stone Games and Lord of the Rings Online, they are not the biggest companies within this space, the biggest titles within this space, the biggest projects within this space when compared to the likes of Final Fantasy XIV, Black Desert Online, World of Warcraft. These developers and the time and the effort they put into these servers, which, if you think about backtracking and updating a lot of these servers, that's not a one-man or overnight job. It's a lot that goes into it. They need this kind of feedback. They need this kind of support. They need the people playing this game, subscribing to their game, and sharing feedback and positivity. Because if you want Lord of the Rings Online to not just continue in longevity, but continue to get better, then they need to know that this is what we want. And I do feel like one of the major ways that we can show our appreciation and show that that's the way we want this way to go is by, leaving feedback and becoming a VIP, which a lot of people have said, oh yeah, but one of the major reasons that I turn off from the game is because you've got to pay for certain aspects, or there's a lot of content that you need to purchase. And I mean, unfortunately, that's the space we live in. That's what happens with live service games. I know some do things better than others, but that's not a secret or strange concept. I actually feel for the free content this game gives you, it's far and above what most other MMOs or RPGs do in this space. I guess this is easier to look past if you are a Lord of the Rings or a Tolkien fan. You want to be in this space, so you kind of want to play it, so I can kind of understand people that perhaps aren't as sold on the title, that they combat that a little bit. But honestly, give it a try. There has never been a better time to jump into some of the servers. I'm well on track, heading towards level 30 now. I'm playing an Elf Hunter, having a blast. This honestly, I jumped back onto one of the EU servers, Evernight. Well, I say EU, it's, you know, I play it here in the EU, but it's a US server on Evernight, and I wanted to play my champion. And honestly, I was like, surely the server differences aren't going to be that much, but it's night and day. Like when you go from the legendary Mordor server to a standard server, it just feels, I'm not going to say unplayable, but it definitely feels like a drastic difference. I want to hear from you guys down below. What's your experience like with the new servers? Have you thought about coming back to it, not giving it a shot yet? Or have you been clawed back in, drawn back in? Are you giving it a go? That'd be really cool to know. As always, if you enjoy this sort of content, your support, your feedback, it really does mean a lot to me. And yeah, hopefully I will see you guys in future uploads. Thanks for watching.